Have you ever wondered why some people seem to live freely, traveling whenever they please, while most of us work tirelessly every day just to cover basic living expenses? The truth is, it is not about luck. The difference lies in one thing. They learned early on how to master a few simple steps that lead to personal financial freedom. And here's the good news. Anyone, including you, can do the same. Personal financial freedom is not a distant dream reserved for the wealthy. It is not a fantasy, but a real journey that can be built step by step through habits, discipline, and smart decisions with money. I have seen countless everyday stories where ordinary people, even those who started out buried in debt, managed to completely turn their lives around simply by following the right financial principles. Think of personal financial freedom as building a house. Each brick you lay, whether saving, investing, or managing expenses wisely, forms the foundation of a secure home. That home not only shelters you from life's storms, but also gives you peace of mind, choices, and ultimately, true freedom. Research shows that those who begin saving and investing early, even with very small amounts, are often able to retire at least 10 years earlier than the average person. I once knew an office worker with only a modest salary, yet with a clear financial plan and consistent effort, she paid off her debts in 5 years, bought her dream home, and now enjoys a lifestyle far more independent and free than before. This proves that financial freedom is not reserved for high earners, but for anyone willing to start and stay committed. What you will discover on this journey is that there are no shortcuts or overnight miracles, but there are clear, proven, and practical steps that anyone can apply. And the best part? You don't need a fortune to begin. You can start today with small but steady actions. So what exactly are the 7 simple steps to achieving personal financial freedom? How can ordinary people like us apply them to reshape our future? In the following sections, I will take you through each step, specific, practical, and ready for you to put into action immediately. Step 1. Define clear financial goals. You cannot reach financial freedom if you don't know where you're heading. It's like driving endlessly without a destination. A clear financial goal is your lighthouse, guiding every choice and decision you make. Start by sitting down and writing your goals. Make them specific, measurable, and realistic. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be rich," write, "I want to save £30,000 within the next 5 years to buy my first home." Once you make your goal concrete, your daily actions will naturally align with your vision. A friend of mine, a junior accountant with an average income, once lived aimlessly from paycheck to paycheck. One day, she wrote down a clear goal. "I will pay off £7,000 in 3 years." Immediately, her spending habits shifted. She cut unnecessary shopping, prioritized debt repayment, and even took on a part-time role. The result? She achieved her goal in just 2.5 years, unlocking her first step toward financial freedom. The SMART method is useful here. Goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For instance, I will save 20% of my income every month for 12 months to build an emergency fund equal to 6 months of living costs. This clarity keeps you accountable and motivated. Setting financial goals is powerful because it gives meaning to sacrifice. On tough days, your goal reminds you why you are making the effort. When tempted to splurge, you can ask, "Will this purchase bring me closer or further from my goal?" That single question can transform the way you spend. Your goals should not only be about money, but also about the life you want to live. Some people save for a home, others to retire early, and some simply to travel the world freely. Whatever your dream, a clear goal becomes your compass. Remember, you don't need to start big. Begin small. Perhaps saving your first £500, paying off a small loan, or building your first emergency fund. Each milestone builds confidence for bigger goals. Like climbing a mountain, you conquer one stage at a time before reaching the peak. Financial freedom is not a destination, but a journey. Goals are your map. Without them, it's easy to get distracted by short-term pleasures and lose sight of the bigger picture. But when your vision is clear, your daily choices will bring you closer to freedom. Now that your goals are set, the next question is, how do you control your money so it doesn't slip away unnoticed? That's where step 2 begins, mastering smart spending. Do you know why most people never achieve financial freedom? It's not because they don't earn enough, but because they don't manage what they earn. Income is important, but wealth is built by how much you keep, not just how much you make. After defining clear goals, your next step is to manage spending in a structured, disciplined way. This is not just a habit, but a survival skill. Without control, money will always flow out faster than it comes in. One simple yet powerful system is the 50-30-20 rule. Spend 50% of your income on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings and investments. If you're in debt, adjust it to 60-30-20, allocating more to essentials, a portion to debt repayment, and the rest to savings. The key is to have a plan instead of spending by impulse. Take the example of a young engineer I once met. His salary was above average, yet he was always broke by the end of the month. When he tracked his daily expenses, he discovered that he was spending £120 a month on coffee, £100 on eating out, and more on unnecessary shopping. By setting strict budgets for each category, within 6 months, he had saved over £2,000. That's the power of smart spending. You can use budgeting apps, a spreadsheet, or even a notebook. The tool is less important than the habit of tracking and reviewing where your money goes. Awareness is the first step to change. Discipline is also essential. Many people know they overspend, but justify it with just this once. Unfortunately, those small indulgences are exactly what prevent long-term progress. If you are serious about financial freedom, you must learn to say no to purchases that do not serve your goals. Automation is another strategy that works wonders. Set up your account so that a portion of your salary automatically goes into savings or investments. This removes emotion and temptation from the process. Each of us has financial leaks. Unnecessary habits like online shopping, expensive meals, or collecting gadgets. Identifying and controlling these habits is critical. But managing money wisely does not mean living miserably. It's about balance. Allow yourself to enjoy life within planned limits. When you budget for fun, you avoid guilt and stay motivated for the long run. Remember, smart spending is not about cutting back, but about optimizing. It means using money to improve your quality of life in lasting ways, rather than for short bursts of satisfaction. Cooking at home instead of dining out, choosing quality but reasonably priced items, or prioritizing health over luxury labels. These are small shifts that lead to big rewards. Financial freedom is a major goal, and mastering spending is the foundation. Without it, saving and investing cannot grow. Just like a building needs a solid base, wealth cannot be built without control. But saving alone is not enough. The real question is, how do you make your money grow? That's the next stage of the journey, where we start building reserves and preparing for the future.
Step 3. Build your emergency fund. Why do millions of people fall into debt even though they have a steady income? It's not because they don't know how to save, it's because they don't have an emergency fund. Just one unexpected event, an illness, job loss, or accident, can wipe out years of hard work. If you want to go far on your journey to financial freedom, you need a safety net to protect yourself when life throws the unexpected at you. An emergency fund is money set aside exclusively for true emergencies. It is not meant for vacations, shopping sprees, or indulgences. It's your lifeline when the unexpected happens, covering medical bills, job loss, accidents, or family crises. Without it, many people are forced into debt, undoing their progress toward financial freedom. Financial experts recommend building an emergency fund equal to 3 to 6 months of living expenses. If your monthly expenses are around $1,000, your emergency fund should be between $3,000 and $6,000. Freelancers or those with irregular income may need a larger cushion, 9 to 12 months worth of expenses. Take the story of a friend of mine who worked in the travel industry. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, his income was strong and he rarely worried about money. But when the pandemic hit, his income disappeared overnight. Fortunately, he had built an emergency fund of nearly $10,000, enough to keep his family afloat for 8 months. Because of this, he avoided debt, stayed calm, and had the breathing space to plan his next move. That's the true power of an emergency fund. So, how do you build one? First, calculate exactly how much you need. Don't guess. List your essential monthly expenses: housing, food, transportation, insurance, children's tuition, and fixed bills. Then, multiply that number by 3, 6, or 12, depending on how much security you want. Once you know the number, create a savings plan. You don't need to set aside a large sum all at once. Start small. Even 10% of your monthly income directed into this fund adds up over time. Consistency and discipline are more important than speed. Keep your emergency fund separate from your daily spending account. Open a dedicated savings account or short-term deposit so you can access it quickly when needed, but won't be tempted to dip into it casually. One critical reminder: an emergency fund is not an investment. Don't put it into stocks, real estate, or risky assets. You need this money to be safe, accessible, and stable. Unlike insurance, which only covers specific situations, your emergency fund can cover everyday expenses like rent, groceries, and bills when your income stops. Insurance and an emergency fund work together, but they are not interchangeable. If you don't yet have an emergency fund, start today. Even your first $200 or $500 is a step towards security. Remember, financial freedom doesn't come from dramatic leaps, but from small, steady actions. With an emergency fund in place, you'll feel more at ease. You'll stop fearing surprise bills or sudden setbacks. You'll know you have protection. And with that peace of mind, you can focus on the bigger steps toward true financial independence. And once your safety net is ready, it's time to shift from defense to offense, making your money work for you. That's where the next step begins: smart investing. Step 4. Invest smartly. Let your money work for you. Have you ever wondered why some people working the same hours as you see their wealth grow while you feel stuck? The difference is this: they know how to make their money work for them. If you want financial freedom, saving alone is not enough. You must learn how to invest wisely. Savings help you build stability, but investing opens the door to wealth. Inflation constantly eats away at the value of money. If you let your cash sit idle, it quietly loses purchasing power. Smart investing not only protects your money from inflation, but also multiplies it over time. There are many investment options, each with different levels of risk and return. Stocks, a common path to long-term growth, though volatile. Patience and basic knowledge are essential. Bonds, safer than stocks, offering more stability and predictable income. Real estate, popular for its long-term appreciation, though it requires larger capital and is less liquid. Mutual funds and ETFs, great for beginners. Diversified portfolios managed by professionals reduces your risk. Gold, currencies, and alternate assets, often used as hedges during uncertain times. Here's a real example. A friend of mine, earning just $500 a month, decided to invest $100 monthly into an ETF tracking the top 30 companies in his country. He stayed consistent for 8 years and resisted the urge to withdraw during market swings. Over time, his savings grew from less than $15,000 to more than $30,000 thanks to compound interest. This shows that you don't need massive capital to invest. Patience and discipline matter far more. The key to smart investing is knowing yourself. Understand your risk tolerance. If you prefer stability, lean toward bonds, index funds, or fixed-term deposits. If you are younger with time on your side, you can afford to take more risk with stocks or real estate. There's no one-size-fits-all strategy, but one rule always applies. Never invest in something you don't understand. Diversification is equally important. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your money across different assets to balance risk and reward. And never underestimate the power of compound interest, the greatest secret of the wealthy. Compounding means the interest you earn also earns interest. The earlier you start, the more exponential your growth becomes. As Albert Einstein once said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. Remember, financial freedom isn't about how much you work, but about how much your money works for you. Wealthy people don't necessarily work harder. They let their money do the heavy lifting. The biggest mistake beginners make is waiting for the perfect time. In truth, the perfect time never comes. Markets always fluctuate. Waiting only makes you miss opportunities. Instead, start small, learn from experience, and grow over time. A practical tip? Treat investing like paying a monthly bill. Commit to contributing regularly, whether it's 50, 100, or more. Over the years, your disciplined contributions will surprise you. Smart investing is not just a way to build wealth, it's the ticket to accelerate your journey toward financial freedom. But investing is only one part of the picture. If you want to move faster, you'll need multiple streams of income, not just a single paycheck. And that brings us to the next step on your path to personal financial freedom. Step 5. Build multiple streams of income. Don't rely on just one job. Do you know why millions of people fall into financial crisis after just one unexpected event? It's because they depend on a single source of income. When that job disappears, the income vanishes and every plan collapses. True financial freedom doesn't come from how much you earn today, but from how many income streams continue to support you in the future. The difference between the wealthy and the average person lies here. Average people work for money, while the wealthy build multiple streams of income so that money flows into their pockets automatically. Warren Buffett once said, "Never depend on a single income. Invest to create a second source." Many people believe that creating additional income streams means working harder or longer hours. The truth is different. It's not about working more, it's about working smarter. Common types of income streams you can start with. Active income. This is the money you earn directly from your work, such as a salary, freelancing projects, or side gigs. It's essential but fragile because it depends entirely on your health and time. Passive income. This is the true gateway to financial freedom. Passive income comes from assets, systems, or products you build once and that continue generating money over time. Examples include rental income, stock dividends, bond interest, YouTube channels, royalties from books or apps, and online courses. Investment income. This comes from making your money work for you through real estate profits, stock market growth, or index funds. Unlike passive income from creative assets, this relies heavily on your capital and your ability to manage risk. The key principle is simple. Never rely on just one stream. If you have 3 and one dries up, the other 2 keep you afloat. But if you depend on only one, even a small disruption, losing your job, falling ill, or a market downturn can send you into crisis. Think of your income as a river.
If it has only one branch, a single blockage can stop the flow. But if it has several streams feeding into it, the river remains full even if one branch dries up. This is the secret the wealthy have mastered. A real-life story. A friend of mine worked as an IT engineer with a comfortable salary. Instead of relying only on his paycheck, he launched a small YouTube channel sharing programming tutorials. At first, he earned just a few dollars a month, but after 2 years, the channel grew, generating around $600 per month from ads and online courses. Meanwhile, he also invested part of his salary into an ETF. After 5 years, he had 3 solid income streams: salary, YouTube, and investments. At that point, he could quit his job and still live comfortably. You might ask, but what if I don't have a special skill to create extra income? The truth is, anyone can start. For example, renting out a spare room or vehicle, writing blogs, starting a podcast, or selling handmade goods online, becoming an affiliate marketer, small investments in stocks, funds, or gold, turning skills into services such as tutoring, translation, design, or writing. The most important step is to begin. Many people delay because they think they need a million-dollar idea. In reality, second income streams often start small, then grow over time. Eventually, they can replace or surpass your primary income. On the road to financial freedom, building multiple income streams is like adding extra pillars to a house. The more pillars you have, the more stable the house becomes against any storm. But having multiple income streams is not enough. If you don't know how to protect and manage them, one mistake can bring everything down. That's why the next step is critical: risk management and asset protection. Step 6. Manage risk and protect your assets. You can spend decades building wealth, but one unexpected event, an accident, an economic downturn, or a bad investment can wipe it all away. Sustainable financial freedom requires not just knowing how to make money, but also how to protect it from risk. The wealthy are different because they prioritize protecting assets before multiplying them. It may sound boring, but this shield is what allows them to go the distance without collapsing halfway. There are 3 major risk categories you must manage: personal and health risks. You can work hard, save, and invest, but a single serious illness can erase everything. Many people go bankrupt because of medical bills. That's why health insurance and life insurance are your first line of defense. Example: a friend saved $20,000 over 10 years, but a sudden surgery drained nearly all of it. If he had insurance, the financial damage would have been minimal, and his financial journey wouldn't have been disrupted. Investment risks. Every investment carries risk. The stock market can crash, property markets can freeze, or startups can fail. The goal isn't to avoid risk, but to manage it. Golden rule: never put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify your portfolio across stocks, bonds, real estate, index funds, and even cash reserves. If you invested everything in property during the 2020 boom, by 2023 you might be stuck with heavy losses. But if you had diversified, say 40% stocks, 30% property, 20% index funds, and 10% cash, your finances would remain stable even as one market struggled. Legal and asset protection risks. Many people lose fortunes because of poor legal knowledge. Buying land without checking zoning laws or going into business partnerships without contracts can lead to disaster. Always secure legal documents, clear contracts, and professional advice. Spending a few $100s on a lawyer can save you from losing tens or hundreds of thousands later. Practical risk management principles. Always keep an emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Buy health and life insurance as early as possible while you're young and healthy. Diversify investments. Never go all in on a single asset class. Set stop-loss limits in investing to avoid catastrophic losses. Regularly review legal documents and contracts related to your assets. A real-life example. A young couple both worked salaried jobs and saved diligently. They also bought an apartment to rent out. Everything was going smoothly until the husband was diagnosed with a serious illness. Thanks to their health insurance and a 6-month emergency fund, they didn't need to sell their property or go into debt. Rental income from the apartment kept flowing, and they maintained stability. This is the power of risk management. The mindset to remember: financial freedom is not a straight path. It's a journey full of obstacles. Successful people don't succeed because they avoid risk, but because they prepare for it and overcome it. If earning money is the sprint, then risk management is the stamina that allows you to finish the marathon. But having multiple income streams is not enough. If you don't know how to protect and manage them, one mistake can bring everything down. That's why the next step is critical: building a long-term financial plan.
Step 7. Build a long-term financial plan. Live truly free. Imagine you already have steady income, consistent savings, smart investments, and solid risk management. Yet without a long-term plan, you could still stall halfway. This final step is your roadmap, the compass that not only helps you reach personal financial freedom, but sustain it for life. Financial freedom is not a single destination. It is more like a lifelong journey. To travel it fully, you need a plan that is detailed and structured, but also flexible enough to adapt to life's changes. A long-term financial plan usually rests on 4 key pillars. 1. Define your ultimate goal. What do you truly want from financial freedom? Retire early at 40? Travel the world? Spend more time with family? Your vision will shape every financial decision you make. For example, if your goal is to retire at 40, you'll need to save aggressively, invest heavily, and cut expenses far more than someone planning to retire at 55. 2. Create a long-term cash flow strategy. Think beyond today's income and expenses. Map out your financial flow for the next 10, 20, even 30 years. Factor in inflation, your children's education, and healthcare in later life. A well-known principle is the 4% rule. If you want to retire comfortably, build an investment portfolio that allows you to withdraw 4% annually without running out. For instance, if you want to spend £15,000 per year in retirement, you'll need a portfolio worth at least £375,000 to support that lifestyle sustainably. 3. Rebalance and adjust regularly. Life never stays still. In your 30s, you may seek high growth and accept higher risks, but by your 50s, protecting capital and ensuring steady income become the priority. That's why your plan must be reviewed at least once a year. Think of it like driving on a long road trip. You don't just step on the gas and hope for the best. You check your dashboard, adjust the wheel, and change course when needed. 4. Invest in yourself and the next generation. A long-term plan is not just about money. It's about building skills, health, and values that last beyond you. Passing down financial wisdom can be more powerful than passing down wealth alone. A true story from London. A successful businessman left his children not only assets, but also detailed journals on money management, investment principles, and even his failures. As a result, his children didn't just inherit wealth, they inherited the mindset to grow it. Here are a few practical steps you can start today. Write down your financial goals in concrete numbers. Calculate the amount you need to reach those goals. Draft a 10-year plan for saving, investing, and spending. Review and adjust your plan annually. Invest in learning, health, and relationships, the invisible assets that preserve long-term freedom. An inspiring real-life example is Vicki Robin. an American author who lived on an ordinary income. By saving over 50% of what she earned and investing steadily, she reached financial freedom and retired at 40. Her book, Your Money or Your Life, has since inspired millions worldwide. Her story proves that long-term planning is not reserved for the wealthy. It's possible for anyone disciplined enough to start. The core lesson is this: a long-term financial plan is not a dull spreadsheet. It is the map that leads you to peace of mind. When you know where you are headed, every day has meaning, and every financial decision becomes a step closer to freedom. So we've now walked through 7 steps, from managing expenses, saving wisely, and investing smartly, to building multiple income streams, protecting your assets, and creating a long-term plan. These are not just theories, they are practical foundations that anyone can apply to transform their financial life. If there's one message I want you to remember, it's this: personal financial freedom is not for the impatient. Wealth does not grow overnight, but if you begin today and take each step with discipline, the results will compound in 1 year, 5 years, and even across generations. What concerns me most is how deeply unhealthy financial habits run in our culture. We work hard but overspend, borrow for instant gratification, and neglect the future. If you don't take control of your money will take control of you. Too many families lose their peace of mind in retirement simply because they never built a plan. So I invite you to reflect. Out of the 7 steps we've explored, which one feels most challenging for you right now? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience could help others, and together we can grow as a community. Personal financial freedom is not just a personal goal, it is a social responsibility. When more people manage money wisely, society has less debt, less stress, and more opportunity for growth. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel where I share practical strategies for financial freedom. Like this video, turn on the notification bell, and share it with your friends so we can build a stronger financial community together. And remember, today is only the beginning. In future videos, we'll dive deeper into specific tools and strategies to help you turn financial freedom from a dream into a reality. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.